Hi, I'm back. Now I know the very first thing you're going to be thinking is, Patrick, are you wearing that same damn red shirt, jeans, and shoes? Yes. Anyways, as you can see by the title of this video, I no longer think what I thought in the last video. I think that I'm a filmmaker now. And I'm here to talk about how in about a month's time I was able to overcome my existential crisis and ultimately believe in myself again to do this. I also got a lot of messages from friends of mine, specifically ones that had the same situation happen to them, about the whole Safwad dealie. And if you don't know what that is, just watch the last videos. I don't know. I'll put them somewhere. Description on the screen. I don't know. And I'm trying to make this video, or I'm going to make this video to discuss exactly how I overcame that crisis of not believing in yourself and not thinking that you can do this whole filmmaking thing, and hopefully transfer some information to you all that can maybe help you. But we're going to talk about me for now, so I'm all that matters. Walk with me. And one more thing, because I forgot to say this in my little intro thing. This is called Pat's Intermittent Vlog Picture Show, because I have no idea what to call this thing, and I think having a title as long as Tim and Eric's awesome show, great job, is just funny. So, welcome. So basically, I've been able to break down exactly how I regained confidence in myself into 3 steps. And the first one is grit. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why is there a shot of a teepee, and is he inside it? No, I'm not in there, but we can check it out. So now that we're in here, let me describe to you what grit is. Grit is passion and perseverance for very long-term goals. Grit is having stamina, sticking with your future, day in and day out. Not just for the week, not just for the month, but for years. And working really hard to make that future a reality. So this was probably the first step in realizing that doing this was permanent for me. I want to be a filmmaker so badly that I am perfectly willing to go through the long haul of waiting years and even decades to make sure that I set myself up so that this can be my job, my permanent job, the only job that I have to do. Realizing that I have the passion and perseverance in order to do that was the very first step. And in order for you all to make your first step, I think it's important with anything that you're doing that you realize that you have that within yourself for whatever it is. I don't care what you're doing. As long as you have that, I think you'll be good. Now you have to be smart about everything, obviously, but But yeah, that was the first step. The second step was Helltown. So what the hell is Helltown? Well, here's a clip.
Brimstone, Texas, October 31st, 1984, beginning of the Day of the Dead holiday. But no one in Brimstone could prepare for the real holiday festivities. Helltown.
So Helltown was a very impromptu project that my friends Sim Trombitas, Aaron Rodriguez, and Cody Rush decided to make while Sim was on leave from the military. It's reason number 2 in my 3-step program that I have miraculously created to get over existential crises. The reason it worked for me was because I hadn't made a project in a very, very a very long time. The last project that I had actually legitimately made before making Helltown was my last student film called Click. And while on that movie, that little short, I had a very bad experience making that movie. It had many production problems. At the end, it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. It wasn't how I wanted it to be. Now, before I say anything else, I'm very grateful to everybody that helped me make that movie. I realized that it was, ironically, hell to shoot, and I was an asshole, quite frankly, while on that shoot for a lot of it because I was super stressed out all the time. But that's not an excuse, that's just why. So I guess a formal thank you is in order for everybody that helped me make that movie. But this isn't what this video is about. Finding that I had grit wasn't enough. Because once you have grit, you realize that you need to start pursuing the passion that gave you that grit in the first place. So when Sim came back down and we just started randomly writing out a little outline of what we wanted Helltown to be, if I'm being honest, I didn't think it was going to be much of anything, at the time at least. And now, a month later, seeing the amount of effort that we put into this little fake trailer, it's not even a short, it's a trailer, how much effort we put into it, and how much effort I put into it. It proved to me that this is what I want to be doing. This and only this. And I'm perfectly okay with that. So step 2, make Helltown. you have to make Helltown. But on a real note, once you find that you have the grit, you have to then make something and make it the best possible version that you could possibly imagine it being. And for me, Sim, Cody, Aaron, that's what Helltown is. It's literally exactly what we wanted it to be. And we are so proud that we made it. You know, when it finally comes out to the internet, because it has been submitted to film festivals, when it finally comes out to the internet, you'll be able to watch it. Or, you know, if you're in any of the festivals or if you're near any of the festivals that it's accepted to, you could go see it in theaters. Yeah. Well, the last and final step that helped me get out of my existential crisis was watching the movies of New Zealand filmmaker Taika Waititi. So Taika Waititi, or Watiti, or Titi Taika, or Waititi Tiki, however you pronounce his name. I came across Taika Waititi, like many people came across him, specifically this year, because he is the director of Thor Ragnarok. Now, he has directed many other things besides Thor Ragnarok. He has directed, most notably, What We Do in the Shadows, Boy, Eagle vs. Shark. He helped write Flight of the Conchords. He's working on, he's worked on other stuff, but I bring him up as my third point, specifically because I felt myself, specifically because of my experiences at film school, I felt myself beginning to become so cynical of filmmaking in general that I kind of didn't want to put the effort in to even do it anymore, especially after coming home from my bad experiences at UNT and all of that. the reason why Taika, in his filmmaking style specifically, struck with me was because of his entire philosophy behind how he makes his movies. It's not exactly unknown that one of his most famous quotes is that the script is merely a suggestion, or something like that. I don't know the exact, but that to me has become like the most profound thing that I've ever heard when it comes to filmmaking, because before I'd even heard him say that, I had experienced it by shooting Helltown. Helltown didn't have a script. Helltown was an outline that we just made. And I haven't had more fun shooting anything in my entire life. And for a famous filmmaker who directed a fucking Marvel movie, probably the best Marvel movie, to say that the script is merely a suggestion was probably the most impactful thing I've heard a fellow filmmaker say in a very, very, very long time. It also helps that he is hilarious and his movies not only are funny, but have some of the most genuine, sweet, heartfelt moments I have ever seen in any movies in my entire life. What we do in the shadows really should have been a failure, but it wasn't, because him and Jermaine, the co-director on What We Do in the Shadows, made those vampires so goddamn likable that you were willing to watch a fake documentary about vampires for an hour and a half. Let me say that again. A fake documentary about vampires during the vampire boom, and you watched it for an hour and a half and you loved it. Or at least I loved it. I don't know what kind of movies you like. You could have hated it. The point I'm trying to make is that Taika Waititi has quickly become one of my favorite filmmakers, because he's such a genuine dude, and him and his friends essentially are exactly how I want that friend group I just listed off and myself to do, basically, during our film careers. I'm not saying I want to yes, I am saying I want to copy him and Jermaine and all of those other friends, because the thing is, when you look at all the movies that Taika and Jermaine have made, pretty much all of them are in every movie. In What We Do in the Shadows, Jermaine and Taika, they act in it. I don't remember the other actor's name. I'm sorry if you're watching this, if you just so happen to be watching this randomly. I don't remember his name, but he was in it. And the group of werewolves were also made of their friends, and they're all in each other's stuff. And all of it's fun. I don't know. I think that those guys, Taika, Jermaine, the rest of the group, are such an exact representation of what Sim, Aaron, Cody, and I want to be doing. There's such an exact representation that it's scary. Like, the only difference between us and them is that they're making higher budget movies. That's literally the only difference. So yeah, those are my 3 steps to getting out of an existential crisis. Oh, one more thing. Taika, if you happen to be watching this, Jermaine, thank you for inspiring me to continue being a filmmaker, because really the first 2 steps were just the lead up to this final step. Because for people watching this that felt the same way as I did, the final step really is once you've made something, be inspired by other people to continue making things. Because making things with no inspiration is probably the single hardest thing, especially for filmmaking, that I have ever come across. And once you don't have the drive to make anything again, you start to wither. And that's exactly what I was doing. I was withering. And it wasn't until I was inspired by a fellow filmmaker that I got off my ass and decided to start making things again. And that's how I would like to leave this video. So, thank you to everybody that's watching this. Like I say in everything, I do plan on making more things. Obviously, I'm doing something right now. This will be every time I make a vlog from now on, it will be under Pat's Intermittent Vlog Picture Show. Because like I said, I just think the name's funny. But yeah, thank you again for watching. Taika, Jermaine, any of the guys that work with those two, if you happen to be watching this, thank you for inspiring me. Thank you to Sim, Aaron, and Cody for also inspiring me to, like I said, get off my ass and make something, because I absolutely love working with the three of you, and I hope you feel the same way about me, because I haven't seen this amount of passion for filmmaking in a group since basically, like I said, seeing the guys that made like What We Do in the Shadows and Thor and all that. So thank you for being my friends and wanting to do this, to go on this journey with me and me with you. So once again, this super extended long outro, like the name of the show. Thank you for watching. I'll be making more things, and I will see all of you in the future. Thank you.